Toure, the solutionary, the founder of Black Guns Matter and the Solutionary Summit. Maj, how's it going, buddy?
It's wonderful, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good, man. I love that you're making your way back onto the grid. Just before we get into some of the stuff that I know we're going to talk about, I'm just going to ask you, like, what was it like taking some time, a step back away from social media and some of the things that you've been so prominent on for a long time to actually take some time to yourself?
It's been great. It's been a cool I can go train. A few weeks ago, I was back down in Orlando. We linked up at the
Hmm.
at Dr. Boyce's All Black National Convention a few weeks back. But a weekend after that, I was able to train in Orlando again at WAFT and learn from literally arguably two of the best competition shooters in the world,
Mm.
and pick up some tips and chop it. I mean, I have their phone number, but in real life, to be able to spend time with them, things like that, to be able to work on this curriculum we got coming, Solutionary University, all that other type of stuff. It's been great. I've been kind of like running straight for 4 or 5 years, so it was wonderful to
Yeah.
take a moment to self.
Yeah, man, that's good to know because, like you said, you've been in these streets, man. Like a lot of people do a talking, but you have been traveling, been making things happen. Even through a pandemic, you were making things happen, and that's why I like to see that you were able to spend some time away from some of the work that you've been doing. But the work never stops, and I know you're always working.
Yeah, when there's this thing that they'll say, like when older couples that have been married for a long time, and if one of them transitions into the next phase of life and one of them still in the physical, like that one will start to, like, they're not active no more, and then the other one, a lot of times not long after
Hmm.
passes, because there was some sort of purpose, there was some sort of exchange, or even folks that when they retire, they had a purpose and then they stopped their vocation, and then they transition. So it's the same thing. It's like this. I don't have a job. I do work. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And so for me, taking a break, obviously, to regroup and reevaluate, reassess, and then reapproach is a great thing. But this work of, I sacrificed probably millions of dollars doing this, and what I mean by that is, like, I am a well-read and intelligent dude that know how to get to a dollar. We gave away about $500,000 over the last few years for these classes to be free. And when you're a serial entrepreneur, you kind of focusing on that. So sometimes being an activist for a community, you sacrifice some of your individual things. You know what I'm saying? And so, but to take that moment to just kind of like make sure that I'm shooting more consistently and going to the gym and stretching and like taking a nap and drinking, like hydrating, like basic shit that I don't think people that have regular jobs tend to think about. Like, as entrepreneurs, you're not really, you're at work, but your work is your vocation, so it's not a 9 to 5. When you care about the community and you want to put people on to something, it's going to be like a 24 hour, a day thing. So saying that to say, it was refreshing, but I'm ready to kind of like start easing my way back into it.
That's good to hear. Once again, we're talking to Maj Toure of Black Guns Matter. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Now, Maj, as we all know, the whole country witnessed and watched the Kyle Rittenhouse trial after what took place back in Wisconsin last year during some of the protest riots or whatever anyone wants to call them. And we saw that Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted of all the charges. Just from your perspective, what
Yeah.
are your thoughts of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial?
This Kyle Rittenhouse trial showed me how amazing media is. Um, Nobody was. It's people that I spoke to that thought that Kyle Rittenhouse killed black people. Like,
I was one of them for a long time. I'm not. I am not afraid to admit for a long time. What I mean by a long time, like months. I definitely thought he had killed black people for sure.
mm, black people wasn't even in the mix.
Yeah, I later found that out.
And so that part, but that speaks to a media narrative or media highlighting something so consistently that we become conditioned to, oh, they only gonna highlight when the white dude kills the black dude, right? So it's a reasonable assumption because that's what media does. Media, paints a picture or paints a narrative. Kyle Rittenhouse was found innocent, and I want to be clear on that. There's a distinction between being found not guilty and being found innocent. So I kind of want to condition us to start saying, I'm innocent of these charges. You know what I'm saying? Um, he was found innocent, and I think that was accurate. We have literally, and that part was more of the conspiracy theory to me, how much actual footage there was of this scenario. And I get it, there were riots happening and all of those different things, but we had literally had footage of a young man, literally had video footage of him days prior to saying, "Hey, this community is getting rioted." It wasn't somewhere that he like trespassed into. It wasn't somewhere that he broke state lines. That's not really what happened. His father lived over there. He worked over there. All of these different things. So we have an actual footage of this young man saying, I want to take a med kit. I want to protect this community. We got the footage of one of the dudes that he killed, white dude, literally saying, kill me, nigga. Kill me, nigga. Literally saying this to him. We got footage of the guy with the Glock that tried to shoot him when he was on the ground. We got photos and video of the other guy that like tried to kick him. The one guy that tries to smash his head with a skateboard. We have footage of this entire thing with this young dude running away like 3 times with a firearm, running away. Those people chasing him, then he unfortunately has to take life in self-defense. The level of media manipulation, as somebody just stated, the amazing way that Black people jumped on board as if they, A, knew the facts of the scenario, and B, like Black people had anything to do with that shit, was amazing to me. So those were some of the things that I noticed, that with so much visual evidence, literally visual evidence of all of these things, how so many Black people could still be tricked by it and somehow paint this dude as a white supremacist. Like that's the main part that I took from it initially when it first started going down. And I was like, wow, we still on that. We still getting tricked by the media in that regard. Like if that's the case, I completely understand why people get swindled. So that was one of the biggest things that I took away from the Kyle Rittenhouse.
Now,
as it relates to us.
Yes. Now, Maj, let me ask you this. There's some people that's saying, hey, he went there. Now, you cleared up some things because some of the things that came out at first initially was he crossed state lines illegally with the gun. That it came out in the trial that wasn't true. It also came out in the trial that, he's 17, he shouldn't have had possession of a firearm. Well, I think in Wisconsin, you actually are allowed to carry a firearm at the age of 17. So those kind of things.
A
rifle. Okay, there we go. So thank you for correcting me. And so those came out, and that's why the gun charge was thrown out, I think even before really things got heated up. But one of the things people will say, and I'm going to ask you this on your thoughts on this, is that, yes, he killed white men. Yes, he shot another white dude. But he went there to hurt Black people because the protest was in defense of Jacob Blake, in that he actually was there to do harm to Black people. And instead, the white guys were the ones who try to be the vigilantes. To that, you say what?
It's comical because, okay, he literally, I don't know if this was, he was lucky. He literally said, yo, we had a few businesses that were destroyed. There's video footage of when he got involved, standing there, not bothering anybody. One of the dudes that was in one of the people that he shot were literally trying to push a dumpster that was on fire into a building. And him and the kids that he was with, or folks that he was with, wouldn't allow that to happen. That's when it started. Not him going down, hunting down vigilante style. We got to just stop thinking that the media is not your friend. It's not. So when people say that, he went there to harm, he literally recorded, had video with med kit. When you're going to harm people, you don't take med kits. You don't take med. If I'm going to run down on somebody, if I put holes in you, I'm not trying to plug the hole. I'm just trying to put holes in you. He takes a med kit. He was like, some people have been hurt before. A few days ago in these riots, we just want to stand up for our community. That's the same fucking thing I do. And I'm not saying it like, okay, so when those people say that, I go, okay. I go to Chicago a lot, right? We do Black Guns Matter, we do firearms training for free in the areas where there's the most homicide, right? I'm famous for saying this. I don't have a license to carry in Chicago. I'm carrying a gun in Chicago. I'm going to carry a gun in Chicago. If I'm teaching people, because I want the people in the community, let's say there was a string of robberies and rapes in the community of Chicago. I link up with my friends in Chicago. We do some community patrolling. We just want to patrol and just give a presence. Then somebody tries to shoot me. I don't have a license to carry in Chicago. I stop the threat. Do people say Maj shouldn't have been there? He was there looking for trouble. Am I now a white supremacist?
Well, to push back on that, Maj, they'll say, well, it wasn't a Black Lives Matter or mostly black protest. They'll say, well, Kyle.
Neither was this. Neither was this.
Okay.
It wasn't. It wasn't a BLM protest. It wasn't. It was a riot. First of all, Kenosha is white as fuck. That's number one. The actual BLM protest is full of white people. Black people there was three types of people that was at these Black Lives Matter so-called peaceful protests. And let me be clear when I say this, because I have to clarify that this ain't like this twist. I'm attacking the concept that, Black Lives Matter as a concept is bullshit. Black Lives Matter Incorporated, the people that swindled damn near $1 billion out of the black community and rolled that right into the Democratic Party fundraising situation, I'm calling that bullshit. But even those people, for the most part, black people wasn't there, and there was three types of people that was there. The black people that was there, generally, and I'm not saying that specific one, generally, it was the type of person that legitimately is there to protest injustice peacefully and have civil disobedience. That person is there. I respect that. That's American as apple pie. So if people want to say that's not American, no, America was built on resistance and violence. But let's focus on the resistance part. That's the type of person that's there. Then there's a person that is kind of like the follower. They want to go see, they want to go do X, Y, and Z. They want to look, so forth and so on. Dude said I'm a coon. These people never say this in my face. I'm a coon because I advocate for black people. All right, ready. Then you got the person that's just kind of there. They like a follower. They enjoy. Like they agree with some of the stuff, but they kind of hanging out. And then you got the agent provocateurs. There was a whole lot of those people at the BLM protest and things like that. That was pretending like they was there to help. You had videos for the last 2 years, even before the election, going into the election. It was people, white dudes that were just walking up to Starbucks with masks, breaking the thing. And people from the community was like, yo, you don't even live here. You're not even from here. Mm-hmm. So those three types of people are usually at those protests. Now, protesting, civil disobedience, all of those things, even all the way up to armed revolution. When people go, oh, that's because you hate America. That's not true. That's how America was built. So I want to be clear there that I support that conceptually. What I don't agree with is people getting bussed in, random pallets of blocks and bricks just being left for black businesses to be destroyed. We didn't fly none of them fucking pallets of bricks in. We literally had dudes that's agents, Marxists, socialists, trying to influence and utilize young black people, paying them on scene. There's video footage of it, paying them on scene to take bricks and go break windows and stuff. And then the follower type that I'm talking about, running in there, snatching LeBron sneakers and all that other shit that don't have nothing to do with civil disobedience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So all of those things are the things that I'm speaking about. So now we talk about Kyle Rittenhouse going there to attack what black people? In Kenosha. When again, the footage of him cleaning up spray paint and all that stuff off of the buildings, the footage of him stopping them from trying to destroy a business in his community. Because when I was floating around in my community when this rioting was happening, wasn't none of that shit happening around me. I took my phone, I made lives telling people, yo, put that shit down. You don't live here, get the fuck out of here. I did the same thing. So was I looking for trouble? So when those people say that, they have a very limited and um, limited and non-nuanced view of what actually was going on there. They don't know that he was like, yo, we just hope we want to protect some lives, protect some properties. This is the community. They don't know that. Again, these are probably the same people that think it was totally filled with black and brown people, and that's not the case.
Once again, we're talking to Maj Toure of Black Guns Matter. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Let this video be out there because Maj is breaking down what took place in Kenosha. We're also going to be talking about Ahmad Albery, his trial here soon. But Maj, I want to ask you, I want to stay on Kyle Rittenhouse for a second. So with Kyle Rittenhouse, you'll have some people say, Kyle needs to be thrown in jail because if he was black, this wouldn't be the same verdict, the same incident, the same everything. But if he was a black man, it wouldn't be the same case. To that, you say what?
Didn't Gucci Man shoot somebody for trying to shoot him?
Yeah, he did. He did. In self-defense.
Did he go to jail for that?
No, he got self-defense.
Is Gucci Man black?
Gucci Man is about as black as it gets.
What are they talking about? Did Tupac shoot 2 off-duty police officers that were trying to accost him in Atlanta?
He did.
Did he go to jail for that?
No, he got off. He got self-defense.
Did the baby, when he shot that motherfucker in North Carolina in the Walmart, did he go to jail for that?
He did not.
What are we talking about? The same day that the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict came out, Andrew Coffey shot 2 police officers trying to raid his house. They killed his girlfriend in that fire exchange. He got exonerated the same day Kyle Rittenhouse did. He was black. Is he in jail right now?
No, Andrew Coffey he's a free man.
Well, I could take, bruh. These people saying this don't know what they're talking about. And then they say, okay, he should be in jail because if it was someone else, it wasn't fucking somebody else. It wasn't somebody else. And since it wasn't somebody else, so if that, listen to that logic. He should be in jail because if he was white, black, he would be in jail. I just named 3 or 4 people that did the same thing. One of them, the verdict was the same day. The young man Andrew Coffey shot 2 cops. He ain't in jail. But the logic or lack thereof is he should go to jail because if he was black, he would go to jail. So now you're advocating for people to go to jail. You're not trying to change the fact or this perceived fact, which is actually inaccurate, and I can prove that. You're not trying to change the fact if you believe that black people go to jail unjustifiably for self-defense. You're not trying to change that. You're just saying more people should go to jail because black people go to jail. And that's unequivocally false. It's false. Black people in America, stand your ground cases where someone uses a firearm to defend life. Black people benefit from stand your ground cases more than any, in self-defense, more than any other group of people in America. What the fuck are these people talking about?
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
It's like, that's why they try so hard to get rid of stand your ground cases. And black people caught up in the same white liberal bullshit, following along with the white liberals, because media told them that the George Zimmerman case was a stand your ground case, and it wasn't. It was not a stand your ground trial. But we get caught up in the media outlet and then going to go advocate for something that's in our own disinterest. Black people, wake the fuck up. So that's what I would say to that person.
Once again, we're talking to Maj Toure of Black Guns Matter. If you can't tell by now, Maj brings it. He brings it, man, with the facts, with the everything that you need to know about all these things. Now, Maj, sticking with Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, what if somebody says, I've heard this too before. It says, the Kyle Rittenhouse case, I'm not going to say who said it because I don't want to get in any beefs with somebody, but I did hear this. It said what the Kyle Rittenhouse case showed is that if you are on the side of black folks and stand with black folks in protest, you kind of debunked the protest thing already, but I'm just going to state this. If you stand with black folks in protest, even if you are white, your life is now devalued like the black people. To that, you say what?
Today I got $5,000 for our work. And I have an anonymous donor that gave us $100,000 today. Today. I can't say Brownells is who gave the $5,000. I can't say who donated anonymously $100,000 to our work. I can't say it. What I can say is they white. I have been the exact same person in real life on the internet. I've been the exact same person the whole time. They know exactly what my agenda is. I've been very clear. I'm going to, I said 4 or 5 years ago, I'm going to make black people the largest, newest gun owners in America. I said it. I did it in 2019. I made a bunch of black people buy guns and start training. So if I've said I had the organization is called Black Guns Matter. I'm objective, but I'm B1. At the same time,
absolutely.
When people say, oh, if you stand too close with black people, your life's going to get devalued. Well, I had somebody, a white dude, give me $100,000 to continue doing the work today. Does that mean his life is devalued? Does that mean Brownells, the company that's been around since 19-something, way back, it's a 70, 80-year-old company that sells firearm parts, accessories, camping, all of that other type of stuff, right? If Brownells gives me $5,000 publicly, and this ain't the first time they did it, do you think that would be a good business move for them to say, we're going to stand directly next to Maj and give him thousands of dollars that he's giving away to do this work? Is their life devalued? They literally are financing the work that we're doing. They're helping finance it. No one can say I got on any platform and said and tap danced, spoke differently. I didn't. I smoked whatever I wanted to smoke. I tweeted whatever I want to tweet. I tell people I'm in New York, I got a gun on me. I've been exactly the same way. So it wouldn't be a smart move for those white people because those guys, that Brownells is a white family. People that say stuff like that don't understand. You know, when your life becomes devalued, when you listen to white media, when you listen to white liberals, and I say white liberals because I like some conservatives are, are racist. I don't give a fuck. I like you to be very out front with your racism. I want you to say, hey, nigger, I don't like you. I appreciate that. So are we saying that, Marcus Garvey had meetings with the Klan? You got your people over there, and we talking about it at a time, and I am one of those people that do say we have, at least on the surface in this nation, have made different strides in regards to race. It ain't like when my grandmother was a youngin'. It's not. That's just the reality. So if you have a common interest and you understand that, this Second Amendment thing is how we stop the government. Black people should be getting armed because the problem for black people historically in America has been the government. Racism and slavery and Jim Crow laws, those things can't work without the government sanctioning it. It can't. It would just be people saying they don't like you. There would be no laws. But these things were the government putting them together. When your life becomes devalued is when you don't have no firearms to protect yourself from foot soldiers for the state, the government, the police. So this notion that, like, if a white person stands next to somebody as outspoken as myself, that their life becomes devalued too. The person that gave me $100,000, their company worth $100 million. I don't see them becoming more devalued after they did that. Your life becomes devalued when you don't have the means to defend your life. You're not a citizen then. You a subject.
Once again, we're talking to Maj Toure of Black Guns Matter. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. And Maj in Black Guns Matter has the GoFundMe. It's GoFundMe.com/Black Guns Matter. You can go there. You can donate to continue to support Maj in the work that he does for, Black people all across this country. Now, Maj, with the Kyle Rittenhouse disappointment for some folks, I'll say, I mean, subject to some folks,
Yeah.
there now comes the Ahmaud Arbery trial. And a lot of people, a lot of Black people, because like you said, they have been tricked to think, Kyle's fight was Black people's fight. Now they're scared that the verdict in the Ahmaud Arbery trial will go against them once again. So what are your thoughts about what took place with Ahmaud Arbery and the murder of Ahmaud Arbery and what's taking place in the courtroom right now?
Rest in peace to Ahmaud Arbery. Usually when Black people die, you get some conservatives that are like fake conservatives. I want to be clear. Conservative means to conserve like a constitution, to conserve, a foundational principle. The thing that is the founding understanding and documents for this nation is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys are calling themselves conservatives because it's a wave, especially if they Black. They'll say they're conservative, but know nothing about the Constitution, know nothing about the purpose of the Constitution, which was to limit government. And if we as Black people have identified that the government has been a problem for us since we got here, then we need more documents and framework that limits government. Because when they start dropping new laws and we got to do this and that, the first thing they're going to do is target the Black community. But anywho,
absolutely,
these guys are pretend like they're conservatives. They're going to pretend like they're conservatives, right? But they're going to tap dance and say some shit like, well, he had a history of this and that and blah, 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 blah. That's immaterial to the situation at hand. Mm-hmm. It's immaterial to the situation at hand. The situation at hand is two dudes, the McMichaels, father and son tandem, jumped in their pickup truck because they assumed that somebody in a neighborhood that shouldn't have been there might have stole something. So they drove down and they wound up killing him. Now, this concern that the verdict will go a different way, it's too open and shut. The Twitter sphere is where it's going back and forth. The facts of the matter are, nothing was stolen. English, it's the last name of the owner of the construction site where those homes were being built. Mm-hmm. Literally said nothing was ever stolen. Ever. Nothing was ever stolen. They got cameras because there's equipment. It's a construction site. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's supplies, there's lumber, there's, so there's cameras there. Nothing was stolen. And Ahmaud Arbery wasn't the only person that went through that construction site. Men went through there, women, white, Black, whatever, kids, children, all of that. So the McMichaels decided to jump in the truck and follow somebody. Now, I'm a gun owner. I keep a gun around. I'm going to always keep a gun around. I am never going to get a firearm and go look for trouble. If you believe in calling the police, call the police. If that's what you believe in, you're not the police. This is where, there's some truth to this phrase of like white privilege. I don't believe in white privilege. Don't nobody got privilege. I got Black privilege. I ain't nothing superior to me, period. But these types of actions is what gives that statement or phrase some legs. The level of arrogance in hopping in your truck, not calling the police. Now that's if they not intending on harming this person. Let's go with that first.
Yeah.
The level of arrogance in I'm gonna get in grab my gun, go look for the person that I think was the problem, chase him down in my truck, don't call the police, and hop out and expect him because I said he got to stand there and wait, he gonna do it. That's top tier peak narcissism, which is you feel privileged.
Yeah.
So the reality is you did not have, in order to effect the citizen's arrest, they didn't meet the criteria. You have to first see a crime. Now, what they could have said was, oh, we were following like a good Samaritan clause. But again, which is if I see somebody raping somebody, I can pull my firearm. I got to witness it. I can
Yeah.
pull my firearm out and stop the threat, right? Good Samaritan, they'll give me some leeway there. You didn't see a motherfucking crime committed because no crime was committed. You had an assumption. You grabbed your firearm, you got in the truck, you went and did what you did. Then you cornered the person and saying it was a citizen's arrest. You don't meet the criteria. That's bullshit. Then you say you lie. And one of your original statements was, oh, we had pulled over and told him to stop and he didn't. They had already, one of the son had already jumped out with the thing on him. And then after shots, he said, stop. Now, with that being the case, the argument goes, some people will say, well, he caused his own death when he went for the gun. AhmaudArbery did a bad self-defense tactic. You don't ever reach for the gun. But when you don't train and you think you're fighting for your life, you think maybe I could wrestle this gun away from the person. The reality is the McMichaels drove and followed someone. They did not have the rights to a Good Samaritan situation because there was no crime that they visually saw. They had no right to a citizen's arrest because there was no crime that they visually saw. He has no obligation to fucking do what they say. He doesn't. Even in a shootout, right? On the movies, it's like bam, bam, bam. The bad guy just shoots, the good guy shoots the bad guy like the first time. They get him every time. That's not how it go in a shootout. The bad guy gets a say. And if they assume that AhmaudArbery was the bad guy gets a say. Strategically, he shouldn't have grabbed the firearm. That's a bad self-defense move. But the person that created, or the group that created that series of events and leaned it into lethal force was the gun owner. I, as a gun owner, do not chase anybody. If I'm in my house and I hear somebody down breaking in, I got a plan. I'm not going in the movies, they go look for the bad guy. Nope, not at all. I'm going to, from my secure location, say, if you're in here, we're armed. The police have been called. Please leave. I'm not leaving to go look for a gunfight. So that's how my view on it. Mm-hmm. But in regards to people saying like, oh, they think the verdict going to go a different way. Again, it's too many facts. The Twitter sphere is talking about shit, but it ain't the facts of the case. There's people that still think he was jogging with boots on, and that's not true. You know, so facts are facts, and Twitter opinions is Twitter opinions.
Once again, we're talking to Maj Toure of Black Guns Matter. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Now, Maj, in the case of AhmaudArbery, you know, so you feel pretty confident that the jury will come back in favor of Ahmaud and his family and convict these men who committed this murder, correct?
Yes. I don't think it'll be. I don't think it was murder one.
Okay.
Murder one has to be. You have to prove that it's premeditated. Mm-hmm. On the light end, involuntary manslaughter. Murder two is what I'm charging him with. Murder two is right in that space. Mm-hmm. Of the actions that you did led to someone dying. You still gonna get hit harder than the involuntary manslaughter, but you ain't gonna get hit with the when I see this nigger. Sidebar: there's racial slurs that were involved after AhmaudArbery was down. That's before. So all of this is before we even get to the racial component. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So no, I do feel just like I thought Kyle Rittenhouse, because with the facts of the matter and the clear ass video footage, I was like, nah, that's self-defense. This scenario was different because the aggressor was the person with the firearm. Kyle Rittenhouse and AhmaudArbery both acted in self-defense. Kyle Rittenhouse was armed. Kyle Rittenhouse ran away from the guys trying to harm him. The guy that had a Glock pointed to him when he was on the ground, he was running away from that guy too. Kyle Rittenhouse ran away 3 times, and he had to defend life. AhmaudArbery ran away. They had to drive 4 minutes to catch up to AhmaudArbery. AhmaudArbery tried self-defense, but he was unarmed, and unfortunately, it cost him his life.
Yeah, I hate to hear that, man, because like you said, he doesn't seem like he was doing anything. From the facts of the case and the way you broke it down, that man was just minding his own business. and just got caught in a very, very bad situation. Now, Maj, I want to ask you, now that we've covered those two basically highly publicized cases that are, one's closed and one is currently still active, I want to switch gears a little bit, and let's talk a little about politics, because you are well known and very well informed about what's taking place on the politics sphere. I gotta ask you about your man Joe Biden, man. I know that's your best friend. I know you ride on her, Joe. Just we're in what is, I guess it would be month 10 or 11 of the Biden Harris administration. Just from January into now, what are your thoughts on the Joe Biden administration and the lack of what they've done for
Four
America?
months in, somebody will find this. 4 months in, I tweeted, Joe Biden is going to go down as the worst president in American history.
Wow.
4 months in. So everybody that's watching right now, right? All of you understand the power of negotiation now from a president. Oil producing nations, OPEC, right? OPEC nations. If you don't, most economics is like intertwined, right? Especially like nations trading and things like that. Some things, some oil producing nations, we produce America that they want, and vice versa. When you don't have a strong or respected negotiator, they're gonna keep raising the prices of oil on you. All of you that's watching this over the last 10 months have seen the impact of a weak and not respected leader of a nation in the seat. You've seen that reflected in how much you pay for gas. If you don't negotiate well, if you don't get the deals done, you gonna get retail prices damn near. So I said 6 months ago, half a year ago, he's gonna go down as the worst president in history. I was amazed at how many black people that have made, if you be honest with yourself, a lot of black people made a lot of money during the Trump administration. I know I made a lot of clean money. With that being the case, now you're seeing it. He shut down an entire economy. And let's keep it a buck. Two weeks to slow the spread and turned into 2 years. Florida was like, and DeSantis was like, hell no, we're not doing that. Florida didn't mandate the shit. And Florida got the lowest cases of COVID in the country. So saying all of these things to say, because they entwined, this dude is the worst. The worst. There's not, and I don't care about any of these dudes, but we gotta look at the business and how it's gonna be beneficial for our communities.
Absolutely.
You can't say you want economics to happen for our community. You can't practice powernomics if the government, again, black people's biggest enemy ever, if the government say you can't get money. If they're not giving you the option to make the decision to say, yo, I want to close my business down, or yo, I want to mandate masks or not, or don't have to, and so forth and so on. If the government telling you what you got to do, which the government is supposed to have a limit on it, a system of checks and balances, if the government is stopping you, black people, nurses, EMS people, servers at restaurants, if the government is stopping you from getting good money and making smart investments with the money that you generate from your 9 to 5 or whatever, and if the supply chain is weak, it's going to be harder for you to get product to the people. And if it's hard to get product to the people, you can't invest the same. So he fucked up the oil market. He fucked up the stock market. Like, he fucking all the money up. Then on top of that, the cherry on top. Now, I'm not impacted by this shit at all. Me personally.
Yeah.
However, so I can be a little bit cavalier with my joy on this because I'm not impacted the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm just saying it like it gives me a little leeway. With that being the case, the cherry on top is all my black friends that went to HBCUs. Main man promised y'all $50 billion to the HBCUs. We had Howard just getting some leeway on their fighting against the conditions, and I get it. Some people say, "Well, that's the administration of Howard. That's not the current administration." But Kamala went to Howard.
She's an alum. She's an alum.
So this is the administration. So all my HBCU homies, I'm like, yeah, this y'all man. This who we did it, Joe.
Yeah, we did it, Joe. We strolled to the polls. We did all of that. We did all.
And,
we had
and I don't even think they won that way. You mean to tell me that Joe Biden, and this is a cliche statement, but it holds truth. You mean to tell me that more people voted for Joe Biden than Barack Hussein Obama? If you really want me to believe that more black people in a certain age group that went to jail and came home because of the legislation that Joe Biden created, my uncles and them, all of them drug laws and all of that for nonviolent offenders that held on to the crack, that was Joe. So you mean to tell me with all of these black men that knew that did time or where families were impacted by that, you mean to tell me that I'm supposed to believe that more black people than ever voted for Joe Biden than Barack Obama? You are out of your fucking mind. So I'm sitting back looking at it because when I told my Trump friends, I was like, yo, they gonna cheat and Biden gonna win. And they looked at me, they was like, yo, you crazy. He's senile. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, nah, watch. Saying all of this to say, now, there's a funny thing about hindsight, man. You know, foresight is skill. Hindsight is regret. So if I'm going like, black people, don't fuck with homie. He has a 50-year, for longer than I've been alive, most of the people in this chat, for longer than we've been alive, he has made a standard operational procedure of locking black people up. And this is the person that y'all was riding for. Listen, black people, y'all need to go independent or I'm a libertarian. I didn't vote for none of these people. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a fan of the electoral college, the federal vote. I'm saying understand the politics and how it go, because that national level, you know, is the macro or the micro. So in your community, you got more influence. I ran for city council in 2018 to learn and see how the process go and all of that. Mm-hmm. But my point is, there is much to be learned for how we approach this thing that we call politics. You know what I'm saying? But voting for someone just because they said that this is this is the ones that's for black people, it's the same media spin. The Ku Klux Klan, Democratic Party. The Republican Party was like, yo, black people, these Democrats is fucking y'all over. Frederick Douglass, Republican, conservative as hell. I'm not saying the current Republican Party is the same level or putting them on the same level of Frederick Douglass, but I'm saying you got to think about this, black people. Y'all don't read enough. So, and if you don't want the baggage that the Republican Party has, because they got their baggage too, go libertarian or go independent or go. I'm not saying pick another master. I'm saying we need more options and we need to exercise more of those options, because Joe Biden has shown you. He done told you if you ain't black, he fucking fondling children right in front of everybody. He got a history of locking black people up. Y'all some of the great Negroes. That's what he called you. That's what he think of you.
Satchel Paige was a great Negro. And
great
yeah,
Negro.
Man. Hey, yeah, man.
Man got early stages of dementia. It's sad, but you know, y'all. That's what you say.
It's your boy. It's your man. Hey, Maj, man. I, you know, it's funny because I seen this poll. Well, the Howard thing is one thing because I saw what was taking place, the Blackburn takeover at Howard. Howard had just got like $50 million from Mackenzie Scott during the summer, and somehow.
But then I forgot about that part. Joe and them promised $50 billion, then cut it by like 30.
Yeah. But you'll have some. I will say this: you'll have some HBCU presidents. I know I saw either the former or current president, like Lincoln or Dillard University, came in and tried to explain that, you know, how that went down. But I did see where Mackenzie Scott gave Howard $50 million, and I talked about this. And somehow, some way, after students weren't on campus for like 8 months, right, because of because of the virus. And then they got $50 million during last summer when students aren't on campus, and somehow, some way, students come back to a building with mice and mold and rats, and at the alumni of the vice president of the United States. Like, I don't know how that makes sense. That was a mind blowing to me. Like, when you think of HBCUs in America, the first one you think of is Howard University. It's the first one. Anybody say name an HBCU in the country, they're gonna say Howard. It's number
They're
one.
gonna say Howard, then they're gonna say Hampton, then they might say Lincoln or Cheney.
Yeah, like or like in the South they say Spelman or Morehouse, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But the vice president of the United States literally went to Howard, and she never spoke on it. That was one thing that kind of blew my mind. Never spoke on it, and somehow, how does that happen? Like, how does your alumni not have livable dorm rooms? That's pretty crazy.
It happens because Black people, we just giving our. I'm saying we because I'm collectively a part of Black folks, but I don't make them same decisions. I've been at the White House. I sat and had little watch conversations with Trump, and I'm like, and I'll leave the White House and go to the hotel and watch how the media spin and chop and edit, chop and screw what he said. I was there. I seen what he said. I was in the White House when Trump said. And this, again, let me be clear. I'm not trying to hype Trump up. I'm saying I'm seeing the contradiction that they playing on us. That's what my concern is, right?
Yeah.
To get us to go in a direction of somebody that clearly never been for us, right? I was there when Trump said, African American people built this nation. We all built it together, but you guys had a big hand in it. And I think right now you're just starting to get some of the recognition of what you did. I was there. I seen him say it. I seen it. I was there physically.
Mm-hmm.
I left the White House. This was in 2017 or 18. I left the White House. I walked over to the hotel I was staying in, and I had a drink at the bar. And by that time, they had already had it on the TV.
Yeah.
They cut that part out completely. The way that the words that they put under the bottom and the way that they asked the question, it spun it all the way out of context. And I was like, God damn. Y'all are fast. And the reason for that is they just need, how this happens at Howard and all these different places is because Black people collectively, they still buying celebrities telling them to go vote for the Democrats. And y'all keep falling for the shit. Like, y'all, like, what the fuck has John Legend ever done for the Black community? Name one thing. then our legendary hero, Cube, come through and look, I'm trying to sit down with whoever got the bread for us because this is what we doing. What's up? We're going to organize and vote as a block based on who got that bread for us, which is that's business.
It's a power play.
Then these goofy motherfuckers in the hood was like, he a sellout. These you what? I almost I low key. Y'all tell Cube to please get at me or let me get at him. I low key wanted to say, I wanted to apologize to Cube on behalf of black people. Because I felt like you motherfuckers don't get it. Cube don't need to do this shit for y'all. The big three is popping. He's already made Cube Vision been a fucking production house since the 1990s, early 2000s. Cube's fine. But the reason why these things keep happening is because we allow mainstream media to present things to us and we go with it. Just like the AhmaudArbery situation, people swear that, yeah, maybe he was breaking in there. Don't got no facts in the matter. Just like Kyle Rittenhouse, yeah, he was at a BLM rally. No, the fuck he wasn't. No, that did not happen. He took a gun across state lines. No, he did. I got a video on it's the most recent video on our YouTube channel. On the BlackGunsMatter YouTube channel. Literally, a lady from CNN is literally explaining all of the things that they thought were true that were not true in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. But if Black people continue to listen to these white liberals who are the real racists, I'm not saying that white conservatives can't be racist. I'm saying historically in America, it was the white liberals that pretended. Malcolm told us this shit fucking 70 years ago.
He did.
Like, what are we doing? So black people keep going. I see it, and there's little companies like in pages like the Shade Room that be saying shit, spinning the narrative. That's not what the fuck happened. And then you see all of these blue checks in the comment. I laugh because it's like, I hope they never. I don't want a blue check. I hope they don't rent because I know some people that just give you the blue check. I don't want no fucking blue check. I don't want that shit because them blue checks all in up and down in the comment section, and I'm looking at them like, you really saying this shit? And I know some of those people are smarter than and know better. They know better, but they keep pushing a different narrative to black people to keep us as a permanent fucking underclass.
You know, hearing you say that, Maj, that reminded me of that time. I think you was on a panel and y'all were talking about the jab. I don't want to get, you know what I mean? Y'all were talking about the jab. And I remember this guy, he was like, it don't matter what you eat. It don't matter how much you exercise. It don't matter how much green juice you do. If you don't get the jab, you're not gonna live. You're not gonna live to see tomorrow. And I just thought that was the craziest thing in the world. I know you remember because you were there, but
and I remember what I said too. I said, y'all just saying stuff now. Like you just said, black people suffer from hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol. In a few days, I don't celebrate many things, right? My ancestors, the way my ancestors is set up, I don't really celebrate. I'm a fan of Ishikamashu Barashango. Everybody should read that book. African people and European holidays, a mental genocide. Y'all should read that book, right? But I'm less militant and like yelling at people for celebrating holidays now. I'm old as shit now. It's different, right? But in a few days, a bunch of black people are going to spend a bunch of money. Mind you, the supply chain is broke. So a lot of the things that you paying for, the price is going to be up. People about to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on food that's bad for them. They're going to eat all look, this right here, right? This is poison. I'm very clear on this. This is cancer. This is potentially cancer. I try to have one of these maybe a week, break it down, maybe half of it every so often when I'm having a great conversation, so forth and so on, right? But generally, this is coconut water. Go to the gym. I'm in great shape. I know my standing and resting heart rate. You know what I'm saying? I practice yoga. I got a Tibetan singing bowl right here. So I'm saying all of these things to say in a few days, black people are going to give white corporations, not even black-owned turkey farms, they're going to give a bunch of money away to all of this food that adds to hypertension, that adds to diabetes, that adds to high cholesterol. These are the actual pandemics.
Absolutely.
This is what you're really dying from. So they'll do that. Then they'll listen to somebody like that goofball. Mind you, he had blocked me on Twitter before. I knew I recognized him, but he had blocked me on Twitter before we even got into that conversation. Drew speaks to some shit like that. Drew, if you watching, if you see this, somebody use this as the pull quote. Drew, you're a fucking clown. Nonetheless, love you as a brother, but you're a clown. Nonetheless, you'll say all of these things. There has been massive, if you look to so-called alternative media, there's been over 500,000 people just protested the jab in, I forget what country it was, a few days ago. All across the world, people are resisting. Brother Rizza Islam points out a lot of this stuff all over the place, right? These same black people that say, take the jab, health doesn't matter, it don't matter what you put in your body. These same people get funding from the Gates Foundation, funding, NPR, all of them platforms, they get funding from the fucking Gates Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So I completely understand why motherfuckers is tap dancing for massa because they want the budget.
Yeah.
They don't want, and instead of going into black communities, getting a trade, being a plumber in your community, you can make $100,000 in the hood being a plumber.
Easy.
Electrician, a roofer, build some houses. All these men talk about they want a good woman, but can you build her a house, bro? So saying all of this to say, right? these people will say these things. They'll tell you to follow all of these people. They're about to spend billions of dollars on food that adds to the health problem, but then tell you not being health conscious because you refuse to put an experimental gene therapy in your body that those same companies have now petitioned to make the actual long-term effects not be known until for like 50 fucking years. So they're mandating that you take it and give it to your children and making the government buy it from them so they can say it's free to you. This is drug dealers. But yet and still, motherfuckers like Drew Speaks and people like that want to act like, or these same people want to highlight and act as if Kamala Harris is something that's good for black people. The same woman that said we can't let black and brown people out of California jails when she was running shit over there because of the fact that we need the free labor, nonviolent offenders. We don't want to let them home for weed because we need the free slave labor. This is your fucking king. So when I say that's dumb, fuck all that. And when platforms like the Breakfast Club won't have me on because they know I'm gonna obliterate that. And then when motherfuckers like in here, like, and the guy earlier that was like, he's a coon. I look at them like, boy, you know how much for the people I am? Do you know how much information that I actually have right under me right now? Man, listen. You should read that.
Yeah.
Everybody. Let's see what else I got here. You should read that. That's how the whole Federal Reserve was created, to steal your money via inflation. Let's see another one I got in here. You should read that.
Yeah.
At any given moment, I could bust out with something that black people should be reading. You should read that. And if you haven't read this already, you sleep. You
Absolutely.
ain't woke. You sleep. So saying this to say, when I look at these people and when I'm fighting for our people, I feel like Ice Cube. That's what, again, why I damn near wanted to apologize to Cube, and I never met the brother. So we get these things because our people perish for a lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? And we're going to keep eating the turkey. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying don't have a good time. Again, I say this as I'm smoking a cigar. So I'm not on some holier than thou shit.
Yeah,
What
better than you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make more objective and well-informed decisions. And if you don't, you are going to be a permanent underclass.
Yeah, Maj. I mean, I can't agree more with you, man. Once again, we're talking to Maj Toure of Black Guns Matter. You can follow Maj on Instagram. They got rid of his first page, but we're back out and active right there. Mr. Maj Toure on Instagram. That's Mr. Maj Toure. And just Maj Toure on Instagram, on Twitter, right? Just Maj Toure, no Mr. Yep. Okay, hit the thumbs up button. Maj, before we get you out of here, man, I know I've kept you for a long time. I would be remiss to not ask you about Black Guns Matter, about the GoFundMe, about the organization. And you know, if you love what your friends are doing and the work they do, man, you go support your friends, man. I'm rocking my Black Guns Matter shirt because I support all the work that Maj is doing. So what's taking place? What's the next steps for Black Guns Matter? What's going on?
The Solutionary Center in Philly. We got a building. We're going to open it over the next few weeks. Just stay up on the social media because I'm not doing a grand opening. Philadelphia will probably have 500 homicides this year. We are on course to have the most homicides that our city has ever had. So I can't really celebrate. I can't really be on some like, grand opening. We have a stated goal of trying to reduce the violent crime in Philadelphia by 25%. Because when this is a ripple effect. A lot of these cases are cold cases, but some of them are not. So a brother that doesn't understand conflict resolution and de-escalation gets into it with another brother. Somebody dies. Somebody goes to jail. That's two families, and there's a ripple effect. Absolutely. So we want to limit or restrict or cut down on the violent crime in Philadelphia by 25% in 2022. And so that's what's next for. So all of your donations is going to that work. Please, y'all, this $1 million goal that we have, I want to be clear on this. This started as a $25,000 goal to do a tour of 13 cities. We did it. People said, yo, you should keep going. And it continued to creep until we got to like $200,000. We put out a thing saying, yo, do y'all think we should raise it up to $1 million so we can get a building, which we have, and then we can turn some other things over. And that's what this is, going towards. All of our classes are free to all. All of our classes are free to all. So that's what your donations is going towards. I really want to say this because, again, earlier, for those of y'all that didn't tap in until a little bit later, earlier I said, when people are like the guy that said, he's a coon, and I would already have $10 million on my own if I've made $1 million. Technically I was a millionaire, but I'm not no more, because once you spend $1, you not a fucking
Yeah.
millionaire, right?
Yeah.
So, but I would absolutely have cracked the $10 million mark if I wasn't doing this work. Now, why am I saying that? That's not a pity party. That's not like, at a certain point you have to choose. I chose to do this work. I chose to my love for reading, my love for the community, my love for, freedom and liberty and all of that, and being an activist and advocate for others that may not have certain skill sets, right? I love this shit. So if I was more selfish, I probably would have more resources. So I'm saying this to say that money that we raised, 480 something $1,000 already, we already gave it away. It's not sitting in my account. It's not like me waiting till we raise money, we get that shit away to the classes, to feed people, to fly instructors out, to pay for flyers, to pay for this, to promote, the blah, 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 blah. By having a location, now we can consistently do classes on not just firearms. We can do it on, I got, contractors coming through. You want to learn something about electrician? Cool. He giving a free class. Yo, you want to learn something about plumbing? She giving a free class. Yo, you want to learn something about screen printing? They giving a free class. It's going to be, in essence, a community center. And that's what your donations, outside of the last 5 years of work that we spent $480,000 on, that's what this remaining $500,000 and some change will be towards. So I try to make everything, we are very transparent with the money. And just making sure that people see. That's why we like to keep the GoFundMe, so people can see exactly what was given. And then when you see a bunch of classes right after a big donation, you know that went to that. So again, y'all, if you are, and again, I'm not saying anything. I hope anyone isn't offended in the viewers. I'm not saying that to belittle our people. I'm not saying anything today to be rude to y'all. I'm saying it as like we got to wake up politically, socially, and culturally, economically. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep giving more of my time and energy away, as long as y'all keep putting work into it and supporting, because the money is we can't do none of this shit without money. It's not how that shit go.
Yeah.
And so, please, y'all, if y'all got $10, $20, $50, give it. If one of y'all is listening, Cube, if you fucking listening, man, donate $500,000 or call me or some shit, email me. So that's that part. But lastly, Black Guns Matter, we a community organization. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're going something, man, last year, suicides have been up like crazy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you're going through something, man, email me, solutionarylifestyle@gmail.com. The team go through the emails. I do too. You're going through something, send me your fucking phone number, man. You got a business opportunity, you got a product, a new business that you starting something out. I would rather listen to you and the shit you're going through and try to lend energy to it and deal with that, you know what I'm saying, than read your motherfucking obituary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's really it. I had to get the GoFundMe shit out the way, but more so than that, man, we community building. And so I think it's very important that people understand that I'm very approachable. I do got a fucking gun on me, so if you got ill intention, you know what I'm saying, be easy. But generally, it's mostly love, and it's love for y'all too. I want our people to win. I want our people to win, and I want America to win. That's where we live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I want us all to kind of get busy. So support where you can, and if you're going through something, fucking email me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you want, like you said, if you want to get some of these dope Black Guns Matter shirts, go to BlackGunsMatterShop.com. That's BlackGunsMatterShop.com. Get you some merch, cop the merch. Let's help Maj get to that 10 million. Let him know his work he was doing his work and he got it done for the community. And also, we supported him monetarily as well, man. We can't. He got to eat too.
Yo, look the crazy shit. That's when they gonna come for me. When I get to like 10 or 20 million,
Yeah.
then the onslaught of the media attacks are gonna come. So we built for it. We come from strong soil.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Maj, man, I appreciate you spending some time with me tonight, man. Once again, it's BlackGunsMatterShop.com. But for those that really want to donate, really want to help the Solutionary Community Center out there in Philadelphia, it's in Philly, right? So you got the building. Is it a location that people can see already, or where
Yep.
exactly is it at? Are you putting it
Yep.
out there, or?
I'm gonna put it out there as soon as we have our first class. The first class
Gotcha.
is gonna be like we're gonna give away. Before we do that, we're gonna have a homeless food drive, socks, clothes. We're gonna give away a bunch of stuff first, and then I'll put that out there, and everybody can come pull up.
Gotcha. I gotcha. I definitely got to make my way to Philly, man, to see that. But Maj, man, I appreciate it taking some time out of your night. Once again, this is Maj Toure of Black Guns Matter. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Make sure all your friends see all the great work that Maj is doing, and we will see